how can you feel pleasure in seeing someone suffering so much? How? Just how, you know?
It's not bad, it's not weird, you're not weak, especially to ask for help to someone.
Absolutely. Diary Talks
with Micol
and Andreas.
Today, I want to talk about.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is. We're very happy. Ready?
Should I go?
Yes.
Welcome back to another episode of Diary Talks. My name is Andreas.
My name is Micol.
And today we have a very special guest. But before we introduce the guest, let's introduce the topic. Today we're going to be talking about bullying. In case you guys don't know exactly what it is, it's not just verbal, it's also, or physical, it's both. But it could also be starting rumors, purposely excluding someone from your groups, from your activities, just making them feel different is basically bullying.
Yeah. It's a hard topic.
It's a hard topic.
Hard topic. Today we're going a bit more in depth. That's why we're extremely happy to have our guests, because we know it's not easy. I think most of the people have suffered bullyism, especially in their high school, middle school period. I know I did. I know you had
I did a bit. But like I don't know if it was really bullying or if it was just the normal men-to-men banter. But it definitely made me feel some type of way. It made me feel bad. So I mean, I guess you can say it's a form of bullying. And actually, while we were doing our research about this, it's actually interesting because there's crazy statistics about it. Like for example. Between 1 in 4 and 1 in 3 students say that they've been bullied at school.
It's crazy.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of people, and like I think during that age, some people don't even realize.
And that's excluding cyberbullying.
Exactly, which is another topic as well. So, like it's a hard topic, but it's something that is very real.
Yeah.
And that's why we wanted to go in depth in it and understand and really share experiences, because whoever is listening out there, if you experienced bullying, I mean, there's a lot of people who did and that can help you out. And at the same time, if you are bullying, maybe you don't know 100% that you are, but just be careful to what you say or how you exclude people from groups, not knowing, because maybe you don't realize, but it does hurt.
Yeah. And
it has some consequences. This said, this was a very long intro.
No, I think another just piece of good thing is that another stat is actually a positive stat. It's like when bystanders intervene, bullying stops within 10 seconds, 57% of the time. Okay, that's a little bit more than half, but 10 seconds, like just do something. If you see something happening that you don't think is normal, or if that you okay, yeah, someone's picking on someone, maybe it's normal. Ask, don't be afraid to say something, because you may save that person, you may make her day, his day, and stop what could have been bullying the last X amount of years, months, days. So
just don't stand her, just don't stand there, like say something, react, and
see something, say something.
I like that. Can we now introduce our special guest of the day? So we're very happy and very grateful to have with us Cristina Provera. Cri, welcome to our show,
Ciao, Cri.
to our podcast. Ciao.
Hi, thank you.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me, first of all. And,
by the way, guys, in case you didn't know, she's there. So in case we look over here, we just want to say hi to our friend. Don't get excluded.
So, yeah, I don't know, should I introduce myself a little bit? But I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Where are you right now in life? Where are you?
I mean, we're obviously all in quarantine, hooray, again.
Yeah.
But tell us a bit about you. Where are you at right now? And are you happy, despite the period, which is obviously not the best?
So, hello everyone. I'm Cristina, and right now I'm in Milan, in my home, of course, quarantine. And I'm Italian, so therefore, and I'm 24 years old. I just graduated from the École Hôtelière de Lausanne in Switzerland. And right now, I'm this point in my life, I think I'm just really, really grateful for my family, my friends, which I couldn't have asked for better ones. And I'm really happy for what I've accomplished until now, let's say.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
And by the way, for everyone, again, I lived with this person because you're the third person I lived with.
Okay, she's gonna be the last person on this that she's lived with because that's it. That's
it. I'm done. It's just very funny to say because I've lived with Deluca in the previous episode, Tusk in the first one, so really funny. But that's it. And I love her very much, so I'm so happy to actually talk to her.
Yeah, I love her too.
Yes, but I love her more.
I love you guys.
So, what you said is you're very happy of what you have accomplished right now and the status you're at. I mean, you graduated from university. You have a lot of friends, as being some of them, and you're in a good way. You're happy. You're happy, except again this period of time. But we know, and that's why you're here today in the show, that you have experienced some bullying, and it was tough for you for that period, and also to get over it. It must have taken you a while. So, Andreas, do you want to continue and maybe ask her some more questions, like a bit more detailed?
Well, yes. Like since, as we mentioned, I didn't know until Micol actually told me more in depth that you did experience some sort of bullying at school. And so, how old were you? Let's start from the beginning. How old were you when you first experienced bullying?
So I was 11 years old. So it can be, I was very, very young, which can be a good thing, can be as well a very bad thing, because it kind of influences all your life. And it kind of lasted for 1 year. I was actually kind of lucky that it lasted only 1 year. So basically it was about these 3 girls in my school, in my class specifically, and they started verbally by calling me a skeleton, since I was a very, very skinny girl, and especially physically beating me up every day during the break at school. That would last about an hour. And especially it was kind of hurtful because I considered them my friends. So this, I think, it was kind of the worst part of it. And they were doing it as a game, because I think they were actually seeing it as well as a game. You know, you're 11 years old, you're very young. And basically one girl was giving orders, and the other 2 girls were punching me or kicking me. Basically every word of the alphabet corresponded to a kick or a punch somewhere. So basically I was very, very scared all the time. And I was coming back home every day crying. I was full of bruises and blues, and basically I was hurting so much. But I was hurting outside, of course, but I was hurting inside especially. And every time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna interrupt you. You said something that hit me at the beginning, and it was like, except everything, it's like really hard, but you said you considered them your friends. Like, in what sense? Like, how did you consider them your friends? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to understand. Like, was it because at the time maybe they weren't, you didn't have any others, and I don't know. I just want to understand how that came up.
Yeah, of course. So basically it's because it started actually just 1 year. I was already I did already 3 years in school with them. And actually they were, I thought they were my friends. We were playing together. I didn't have that many friends. I was a really, really different person that I am right now. a very different one, and
Mm-hmm.
I was very I mean, my kindness is always there, but the thing is that I was very fragile, and I didn't have the power. Really, I didn't feel of. I was very shy. I didn't say anything all the time. I mean, I consider them kind of my friends, and then out like one day, out of the blue, it just happened. I mean, started happening.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
yeah.
crazy that out of the blue someone would.
That's
would
creepy,
start like
because
that.
yeah, that's kind of
But-
weird.
Yeah.
But to follow up, you said I'm sorry if I want to get kind of in depth with it. I just want to know.
Yeah, of course.
Was it more? Did it start? Okay, you said it started verbally and then physically. Like, what was like the progression? Was it like, okay, the first couple months it was verbal and then it progressed to physically, or was it just simultaneous?
Okay, basically, it started verbally. I have to be honest, I don't remember much in detail, because I think kind of a big part of me and my mind wanted kind of to erase everything a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I remember stuff, but I don't remember much in detail, because I kind of wanted to forget, and I think my mind kind of just erased it. But it started verbally, especially with the drawings. They were making drawings of me in the shape of a skeleton, because I was really, really thin. And they were saying I wasn't eating, and basically I think about after, I don't know, 2 weeks or something like that, I think it just started the beating up part, which wasn't kind of nice.
And I mean, did anyone see that? Like, I mean, I think that the thing of the alphabet just killed me right there, because it's a lot of.
I'm shaking.
Yeah. So did anyone like see it as it was like you had a break after lunch? I suppose like there's teachers around normally, or people, or like how did people not see it? It's not that it's just a punch, which still would be crazy, but like it's a whole alphabet of punching and kicking, which takes time as well.
Yeah, I mean,
So did someone say something?
People, like a few people in my class, I knew for sure, they perfectly knew what was happening to me. But I mean, they never did or say anything. I think mainly because, we were 11 years old. You're very young. I think at 11, you don't really know how powerful actually your act, or like your actions, or like your words can be. And like you don't just do anything in the end. So I think that's kind of the reason that we were very young. That's kind of, I mean, that's how I decided it to classify it, let's say. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, continue,
No, go for it. Absolutely. Let's go away.
So you said you were hurting a lot, obviously. So you came back home, you had bruises. You were obviously not just physically, but also mentally hurting, obviously. Like, were you scared to go to school? Were you afraid? Like, how did you wake up? Like, did you want to go to school? Like, I guess not, but how did you feel about it?
I mean, every day, the fact is that every day, it was not really about not wanting to go to school. Because a part of me, wanted kind of, not to fight it, but kind of resist in life, like keep going. So a part of me really wanted to go, and that's why I went. Because I mean, I liked school in general, that's the thing. So I went to school, but then I kind of regretted it all the time, because every time really I would go back home and I was hurting so much, but especially even like, since I was very thin, like as well, bones and everything were very, very, like, were hurting a lot. Luckily, I didn't have like any bones broken or anything, but still like a lot of bruises and blues. And that's like, at least that's how it happened basically. But I was crying every day. It was a really, really bad time. Yeah.
And like spontaneously, I think Andreas is a bit shook.
Yeah, I am.
He's not talking.
But I think he didn't know as well, so.
No, I heard
he knew me. He knows me since a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'll continue with the questions right now. what you said, it lasted like a year. That's a long time. I mean, if that happened every day, it's a lot of days. And what did your parents, because I guess as it was physical, they obviously saw it. So how did they react? I mean, the first time I think my kid would come back home with bruises, I would obviously ask what it was happening.
Yeah. So basically, my parents spent like I think a year of hell, literally, because every time they would ask me how did I got my bruises, what was happening to me, you know, if there was anything they could help with, because in this point I think they really were helpless. Like they were really wanted me to help, but at the same time those three girls were threatening me not to say anything to my parents or to my teachers, which actually, you know, at 11 years old, you kind of already I was scared of them, and this scared me even more. So since they threatened me, I really never said anything. But I always remember this day. I mean, it was kind of the day where it all ended, thankfully. So it was kind of the worst day and the best day of my life. So my mom basically the night before asked me for the 1,000th time. I had like a huge bruise basically on the side of my tummy, and she just asked me where I got it, and I gave her my, let's say, standard answer, which was that I just hit the corner of a table by mistake, but this time I started crying. And she literally was desperate in front of me. She was saying, what is happening to you, you know, what is wrong, like let me help you, you know, I can help you. And in that moment I thought of two things. I was super scared on one side of saying anything, of course, and on the other side I saw it as an opportunity, because it was the last day before summer holidays. So like here we have a 3 months break. So I thought today is gonna end, you know, today. I'm not gonna see these three girls for 3 months. Today is the day is gonna end. And that's where I said everything to my mom. And she, of course, crying, rushed to my school, spoke to my teachers, to the principal. We spoke to the class. Everyone was crying, even the parents of the three girls. Everyone was just saying how sorry they were and apologizing for not even noticing that this was happening to me. And I saw, you know, it was the end. It actually ended. It was crazy, but it actually stopped. Like it was the end of it.
So did you still go to school with them after that?
Yes, but thankfully, actually, it was the last day as well of the last year, so we had to change school eventually from there. So actually, it was the year we would have changed school next year, so it was perfect because I wasn't in their class anymore.
No, that for sure helped.
Yeah.
So I want to go back. Like, the teachers did not realize at all. Like,
that's impossible.
Like that's the thing that shooks me as well. How did they not see it? How did they not see it?
I mean, I think it's because we had our break. Like, of course, I was so scared every time the bell would ring, and that meaning the break would start, and the hurting as well. But we had a huge yard, and it was full of trees. So basically, it was kind of easy to hide as well. So it was kind of hidden where it all happened. So it was kind of not easy, but you know, when your kids are on break, you notice, you know, you see them, but at the same time, it's not that you actually follow them and see what they're doing. So I think they didn't realize for this reason. Sometimes I would ask for ice or stuff because it was kind of hurting. But I mean, I would say, you know, that I just was running and fell, and that's how actually.
But you had marks.
Yeah.
But they don't see it. Like, the teachers does not see it, which I still think is crazy. But
yeah, because you're a kid, you know.
How
kids
easy
run around.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, kids run around, you just fall, it happens. They just took me for a very clumsy girl, let's say.
Which you are, but not.
Yeah,
not
I am
much.
anyway. I mean, yeah.
But this person or these three girls that were bullying you, was it just you, or were they like notorious as the school's bully?
No, I mean, for what I know, I don't specifically know, but for what I know in my class, I was the only one. Yeah, especially physically bullying, I was the only one. I knew because some of them have changed class. Two girls had changed class basically 2 years before. So I knew that they changed class because they were kind of bullied verbally a little bit in their past classes, and apparently that's how they justified it on beating me up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, as I didn't know that, but as like you said, like it's probably because they were bullied before. I mean, it's not a justification for anything.
Yeah.
But some people react the opposite way. You know, people that have been bullied, some are like, yeah, of course, I'm never going to bully anyone in my life because of what I suffered. But others react differently. Yeah. And then it's a repercussion and they start bullying someone else. And probably they saw you that physically you were not strong in the sense because you were first a kid, but then you were thin. Not because of anything, but you were just like your body is just like that. And they just saw an opportunity somehow because they're like, yeah, they attacked the weak lane in a certain sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's crazy, the repercussion. That's what we're talking about. Also, like the bullying aspect. It's not just once. It could affect that person, and that person can then become someone that bullies. Yeah. And in a worse way, because if they were bullied verbally, they did it even much worse to you.
Yeah, and the fact is that I always wondered how can you feel pleasure in seeing someone suffering so much? How? Just how, I don't know. Maybe they were seeing, the people that bullied them before in me. I don't know. But I always wondered myself, and it's not because I was beaten up that I want to go and beat up someone else. I'm not going to do it for sure to anyone else. Anyone should feel the way I felt. No one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely not. No. It's bad. You want to say something?
I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, this happened in school, and like I was talking with Micol about like what happened. Like, of course, when you went home, you were sad, you were emotionally drained, physically drained. But like, well, I know of course, like if I relate it to myself, it's not even comparable on the same spectrum. But like, I went home, I hung out with my friends, I rode bikes, and like that was my private life away from school. Obviously, this affected your private life because when you went home, you said you were crying every day. So did you really have like a private life away from school during this time?
No, because the problem is that the girls that were beating me up, I thought they were my friends, and in that time, the only ones. Thank God afterwards for the ones I met right after this experience, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, to be honest. So, but they were the only friends I thought I had, and they did this to me, so I really had no one.
And maybe that's also why you accepted it for a while somehow.
Exactly.
Because you thought you were your friends and you didn't want to lose them, as you somehow like how as weird as it sounds. I'm just saying here it's a thought.
Yeah, it sounds very weird and stupid. So mainly stupid, but yeah, that's how I felt, basically.
I just want to go back to something that you said before, is that these girls would threaten you to not tell your parents. I don't know if you remember any of these threats that they told you, but in case there's kids nowadays that are maybe being threatened in the same way, so that maybe they know how to react, would you be able to share any of the ways that maybe they threatened you?
I I don't really remember much, but I mean, some of them were threats like basically they would beat me up harder, or they would actually do more letters of the alphabet, so more basically punching and kicking, and yeah, I think pretty much that was that. I was so scared that that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you wish you could have done more? Like, is there something you wish you would have done?
It's a really tough question.
I mean, I don't know if you can answer that, but
I mean, honestly, I don't know, like, because as I said, I was a very different person. Like, if you would, this would never happen to me right now. That's the thing.
Yeah.
When I was little, like, really, I don't know if there was more. Honestly, saying it now, right now, I would, first of all, I would beat them back up. Right now, actually no, but right now I would have I would have speak up right before, you know? Like, yeah. I think that was my kind of, not my mistake, but I mean, I was super scared, and I think I was little, so it's kind of easy to scare a little girl that's already super scared, you know, about these three girls. But I don't know. I think I would have speak up sooner, because honestly there is no reason to wait. That's what I understood now. I mean, after I've gone over it, really, there's no reason really to hold up and just not say anything. Just speak up, because it's a good thing to say, really.
I think that's a lesson that we can give to everyone, because many people, many kids, I believe, are afraid of telling this to their parents, because they're just like, as you said,
you're terrified.
They're threatened. You're terrified by what is happening, and you don't realize. And again, if you're a kid, like, you don't realize, and maybe if you're a bit older, you feel stupid nearly to go to your parents, because you're like, oh, I should handle this myself, because that's what big guys or big girls do. But that's not the point. I mean, it's not bad, it's not weird, you're not weak, especially to ask for help to someone.
Absolutely not.
Because
completely agree.
And I think you're strong, because being able to admit that you need help is like, it takes a lot, and it requires someone really strong to ask for help, because you're admitting that you can't do it yourself.
Yeah.
You need someone else's help. Asking for help, it doesn't matter what it is, but it shows the other person that you're okay at admitting that you need help, that you can't do everything yourself.
Yeah.
And that requires such a strong person.
It's as well part of the fact that I was completely alone. You know, it's always very difficult to speak up to, you know, teachers or parents or people that are, like, you know, have authority and they're actually older than you, because you think they might not understand, or they might do worse, you know, in some way. But I would say, actually, especially family can always help you in some way. And if you have friends, you know, because I didn't have any, my friends were beating me up, so definitely no friends. But if someone would have their own friends, you know, they could definitely at least try and start talking to them, and then maybe parents or teachers and others.
So, do you know, like, do you know anything about these girls right now? Like, where they're at in life? Do you have any, did you have any other encounters after that? Did they apologize to you?
Yeah, I had a few encounters with them. I met them, I mean, a few times in the years. And I mean, I just, every time I met them, let's say, I would be very polite, but very, very, very cold and detached at the same time. They apologized to me when the time was basically when we were in that classroom, and my mom had just talked to the principal and the teachers. So basically they were crying and kind of obliged by their parents to actually say sorry and apologize to me. One girl apologized actually later as well. All their moms apologized to me a lot, many times. But I've met them. I think some of them even like 2 or 3 years ago or anything. And I mean, I've always been very polite and cold, as I said, but at the same time, a part of me really, like, there is a part of me that's hidden somewhere. I mean, not that hidden, that really would love them to feel, at some point in their life, like, to feel really the hurt that they gave me. But another part of me doesn't want to wish them anything bad, in their life. So I don't want to wish them anything bad, but just a small part of it. Karma. Let's believe in karma. I started believing in karma.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what you just said proves that you're an incredibly strong person, because, I mean, if you said that you're always so polite with them and that you wouldn't want to wish them any harm, and I know, talking about me, I'm not nearly that strong, and if I was bullied like you were and encountered the experiences that you've encountered, and then I grew up, I think I would have at least went after them in one way or another, if I was unable to, and that makes me no better than them.
Yeah.
But it's like I believe in karma, as you said, but I wouldn't have been able to resist, because like.
But that's also consequences.
Yeah, but I understand you. I think a part of me, a huge part of me, maybe would want to, but after what I've been through, I think that no one deserves to hurt their way, first of all, especially for myself. Because I've spent so many years, like, to get over it, I spent so many years wondering, because the first question you ask yourself is why? Why me? What did I do wrong? I did something wrong. It's my fault, because this is happening to me. I spent years and years really, really thinking it was my fault and anything. But it's not my fault, and it's not because it was me, so why should I go and beat them up? Like, it's not that they had it with me, they just had it with the world, they just took it down on me. But it was I think they had kind of problems with themselves first, that's why they did this to me.
That's such an important thought that you shared right now. Like, you need to be careful, because like a lot of this repercussion that you had and that you got over because of your strength and probably help other parents and others, like, many people think if you were bullied, like, it's me. What is wrong with me? What did I do?
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing to do, because there's nothing wrong with you. Like, it's obvious that there's something wrong with the people that are bullying you, and that they have something wrong in their heads, because with you there's absolutely nothing wrong. And especially in those ages of change, because like, let's say from middle school onwards, it's a period where you start changing. You're not just a kid anymore, but you start to grow, and it's a lot of self-doubt, it's a lot of questions that you ask yourself, and this has such a bad repercussion on you and yourself, and it's definitely not the right way to
it takes a really, really long time. I think I fully got over it inside me, like, with myself. I think by the time I was around 17 or something, like, I mean, it's not that during all those years, I was sad and crying all the time and thinking about this. Not really. But like, every time maybe someone would, because it happens in high school, it still happens, that someone like would make fun of you or anything. And this would always take me back to that, and to the fact that, like, I would even give up and be like, it's me. It's because it's me, and I'm someone that it's worth making fun of, apparently. I have something wrong with me, and that's why they're taking it on me. But then, like, thanks to my friends, honestly, and my family, like, I really realized that it's not the case.
No, of course not. And during those years, did you seek help? Did you go to a psychologist or like therapy, or was it just like you and your parents working on it?
I've been, I think, around, not many times. I've been really 4 or 5 times to the psychologist, just to, because I think that in this, when something like this happens to you, you kind of have to take it and turn it into a good thing for you and for your life. Because if you don't, and if you see it only as a bad thing, and it's the thing that always defines you, it doesn't help, you know. So I think this, like, I went like really 5, 6 times, and then I started again a little bit in high school. I think I went really 3 times. It's just to really build something strong and kind of positive out of it. I think it really helps, because it can be a really point of strength for someone. Like, if you get over it, of course, but like, if you don't let it define you, it can really make you stronger.
Yeah, I think that's
amazing.
That's amazing as well.
Fucking amazing.
I think at the end of this episode, Andreas is gonna have some self-reflection.
No, I'm like, it's like I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm pissed.
Yeah. It's
now you're
like
gonna beat up those girls.
Yeah, give me their names after this.
No, I think this is another extremely good point that you're bringing up. That is, again, like, despite how hard it is, turn it into something good, to make you stronger, to make you a better person. Like, as you said, despite everything they've done to you, you're still nice to them. Cold, of course.
It was a long way, believe me.
No, I can believe that. I can totally
like,
believe
no,
that.
honestly, like, I have to be honest, a little bit. Sometimes I not fantasize, but especially in my dreams, it happens a little, because I sometimes it happens that I dream about it, actually. I mean, about the part of beating, like, when they were beating me up. Honestly, it still happens sometimes. And when I wake up, I always imagine kind of like going there, you know, and doing the same to them. But then, of course, I don't do it. But it's like my brain kind of goes there. But then it was like, you know, there's no point. Why?
But it's basically the repercussion.
I mean, it doesn't matter anymore, you know. Like, right now, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter anymore. It's just, there are people, especially the people, they don't matter to me. That's the thing. They don't matter anything to me. That's the thing. Every time I see them, I don't even feel scared. I just feel pity, and honestly, I just don't consider them as people. Like, I really don't care about them. That's the thing.
No, just nothing. Exactly.
That's another huge thing. Is like, they did this to you, and now you feel bad because of how they felt during this. Like, I'm not gonna say anything about them because I don't know them, but like, just based on what you said, it's like, I feel pity that they had to do this to feel good.
Yeah.
And that's a huge lesson, in that if you do this because you need to feel good about it, like, check yourself in the mirror, man or woman. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know, like, I've lost myself right now.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just thinking, like, if my kid, like, ever experienced that, like, I don't know if I would be able to resist. Like, I of course I couldn't beat up an 11-year-old, but I would definitely go to their house and talk to their parents and being like, look, what are you doing wrong? Like, why is your kid coming to the school and beating up my kid? Like, there's
kind of
an issue
what
there.
my mom did,
Yeah,
I mean, because they have you. That's the thing. Like, you know, I always felt that it was my issue. Like, I was the one having issues, and that's why I was beaten up. But actually, they had so many issues. You know, one of these girls I knew, like, spent years and years on a therapist and a psychologist, because she had lots of problems. You know, so actually I understood that I wasn't the one having problems. They were, and that's why I really feel bad, because if you have to do something like this to feel better in your life, honestly, there's something wrong there. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
And I think what you just said is the main point. It's people that are being bullied, no matter the age, no matter the method, they always ask themselves, why me? Like, why am I being bullied? Like, what did I do? Where in reality, it's like, what's wrong with them? Like, why are they doing it? Not why me, because you didn't do anything wrong. It's mainly like, the bullies should ask themselves, why me? Like, that's what they should be asking themselves. Like, why did I turn out this way?
Actually,
Actually, no,
yeah.
it's true.
I mean,
That's
it always
what we were
stays with you,
saying.
huh? Yeah, it always stays with you. Like, I have some bad things as well in my like, I have some repercussions in me. On my character, especially.
I was gonna ask that actually right now, because we obviously know you and everything, but I mean, we are the people, like right now, we're 22, 23, 24, and everything we are now is determined by what we lived in the past. So, how do you feel this somehow, it's a hard question, did maybe have any repercussions maybe of how you relate to people or in your character or your attitude towards certain things? Like, does it still have an effect, or did it mold how you are?
Yeah, I mean, it changed me for sure. I am much stronger now. I'm so much stronger than I was when I was there at 11 being beaten up. I'm really much stronger, and I think it's thanks to that. I mean, how I worked on it. Still, there are some things, like I have one really big repercussion in my character that I think you two mostly knows, but all my friends know that. I mean, I know that when someone is making fun of me, even if it's my best friend, and I know they love them so much, like they love me, and that's why they say something funny, but I always take it personally, and I try not to, but I kind of take it personally. I know then I tell myself, that person loves you, they're never gonna be like mean because they want to be hurtful to me, but it's just, to be funny. But this is always my thing, because I mean, it's normal, you laugh with your friends, and it's normal that they make fun of you, and you all laugh. It's one of the most amazing parts. But I always take it kind of personally, let's say. But I mean, let's say on the surface, I took it personally. But afterwards, I think about it and I laugh as well, because in the end, that's true. It's just a funny thing to say about someone. And then another thing is that I now always speak up. I always go and tell the truth to the person, even if it hurts. I mean, you know me about this. I always tell it right away, because I find out that, like, waiting to say stuff is just bad in any way. Like, it can't help, So it's better just to say it right away.
For sure. I think they're the two characteristics you said, that you're stronger, that's part of it, that you just go and tell them in person. Like, you waited and you said the thing that you kind of regretted was not saying what was happening to you, to your parents or teachers or whatever. So I think what you've learned, if you can say that, from that is, like, say what you think, like, speak up and just say it. Because in any case, like, it helps. Like, that's how it should be. And then, yes, we know that part of you taking things personally. It's sometimes funny.
Always.
But it's like,
I wanted to ask about that, actually, is that you said that, okay, now, like, you're stronger than ever, you speak your mind and you speak up, and you do take it personally, but you know that deep down that these are your friends, these are your best friends, and they love you. But I want to jump back and say, like, is there any part of you that, like, how long does it take you now to trust people? Because you thought these three girls were your friends and that they loved you back then, but then this happened. Like, now you coming out saying, okay, these are my friends, they love me. Like, it took time to trust people and to trust these friends of yours. Like, how did you start becoming trustful again, trusting?
It was very difficult. Like, in high school, it was very difficult for me to open up right away. I mean, I would always be super kind, but you know how I am. I'm really kind to people in general. That's how I am. I'm very, like, happy all the time and everything. That's who I am. But the thing is that I kind of, when it came to the actual friendship, to actually open up to someone, it was kind of difficult for me at the beginning. But then I realized, why? Like, you should trust people. You should just, what I do right now is just, I trust people, and it doesn't take me that long, but I always try, like, you have to expect everything from life anytime. That's what you need to do. You don't need to be surprised at anything that happens to you, because it can happen anything. Your best friend can literally like stab you in the back with no problem. That's the thing. So it's not kind of not trusting, but it's really like just taking every day as it is, and just not really focusing on, okay, this will never happen to me again. Maybe it will happen again, but this time I actually know how to react to it.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be that much of a surprise anymore.
I think this of the trust aspect is something also hard in a certain sense. Like, to trust people is really hard after you experience something like that.
I'm really bad at it.
It's even hard. You're really bad at it, but I'm bad at it as well for other reasons. And but again, one thing that not surprises me, but to see again this like repercussion. You say, like, you expect everything, like that your best friend could stab you in the back. And normally, like, if a person did not experience what you did, you wouldn't say that. Like, you would say your
That's
best
true,
friend always has your back. They could not.
Yeah,
it's
true.
not they could, but they always have your back. And that's where you see.
True, and I didn't even think about that, but that's very true.
You see, that's where you see.
Here's another thing.
That's where you see the difference, and that's where you see repercussions last so long, and they will last for your whole life. I mean, you were young, but that affected the rest of your life as well, and it still is.
And I think it's worse. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
it's because she was so young that it affected her, because when you're in those years, even the things that happen at home in your family, like, those are the ones that basically your environment is where you grow, is where you learn, is where you develop your principles, your values, your morals, everything. So that's why usually parents and what happens at home creates their child. The way your father interacts with your mother, the way your mother interacts with your father, the way your siblings interact, that's what makes you into the person you are today. And usually in a normal, I wouldn't say normal, but in a more respectable childhood, things okay, you go to school, you have fun with your friends, you learn, you go home, you play, like, everything happens. But in these cases, like, because she was so young, because this happened when she was so young, it creates lasting effects that, like, if it happened in high school, you have a stronger mentality, you're not that, but like,
that's debatable, but for sure.
You're more in your own thoughts, like, she was still growing.
I think I was very lucky to get over it, because I know there are some people that experience it very young, that they never really get over it. Never, but really never. And they still have many problems, panic attacks. I've talked to other people that suffered similar things to mine in pretty much my age. And honestly, I'm very proud of myself of how I got over it, because some of the people I met right now, they don't even realize that I had an experience like this in my entire life. So that means that I got over it well,
Exactly.
that means I got over it well. It doesn't really show it too much.
But it also explains some traits that you have. Like I said, everything affects us, and it also explains. And now maybe I mean, I know maybe next time we'll rethink of us making fun of you. Obviously, we make it in a good way sometimes, because it's just fun as I make fun of you. And but like next time you'll have a different thought of it, because okay, can I avoid this? Well, I'd rather avoid it.
I just want to hug you, Cree, right now.
Yes, you're far away.
No, but for instance, another thing that I had from this experience always, and I really have it right now a lot, is the fact that I kind of need to feel my friends close all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I can never be too much alone with my own thoughts and my own self. But I need to have I need to feel the warmth from my friends sometimes. Like more than maybe others, you know? I don't know, it's very weird, but I kind of need to feel it more.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true.
I think as well.
I know that with me, but also like with other friends, you have like you need friendships, and maybe again that's something that affected you in the time like beforehand because you didn't have it, or what you thought you had was not real. So I'm sure that must have affected you as well. I think, unless Andreas has something to add, but today he's been very quiet and thoughtful. I think we've come a bit to an end. Do you have any last advice?
Any sort of lasting advice? Well, this is like a two-part question. Do you have anything to say about maybe those that are being bullied or that have been bullied and are having an issue or having a problem to get over it, or just any advice to those that are being bullied or that were bullied?
Yeah, I mean, first thing I would just say to them, you know, it's not your fault. It's not because of you. You did nothing wrong to deserve this. Nothing. You are a great person, I'm sure, and you have to just get on with it, go on with your life, and show them that you're not the same person that they were beating up, because you're not that person. That's not who you are, and it's not what makes you. You know, you're stronger than that, and so you should definitely be stronger than them, and especially more mature.
And the second part is, do you have anything to say to maybe people that are watching that are bullies or that were bullies?
Yeah, I mean, I just would say that before just commenting or judging someone or beating them up, just look inside yourself, because if you have some problems for you and with you, just deal with them or get help to deal with them, but do not take it on someone else, because it's not the solution. It's not gonna make you feel better, especially in the long term. Maybe it's gonna make you feel better on the moment, but never on the long term. Just get help and try to solve your problems, and I'm sure you will have some great friends to back you up and to stay with you. Just don't be alone and make yourself alone by bullying someone, because it's not the solution. You're gonna feel alone and you're not gonna deal with your own problems.
So true.
And you're not gonna be happy.
You're not gonna be happy.
Exactly.
I think this was one of the best up to now, or like one of the most intense chats.
For sure. I mean, I didn't speak at all. And it's like you can see, guys, like this is the first time that like I went to school with, this is actually the whole reason of this like podcast is you can go to school or you can know someone for 4 years. Like I was friends with Cristina before her. It's true.
Yeah, really. Really.
And I didn't know anything about this. And like it opens your eyes, it opens your hearts even more, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. It's fucking crazy.
It is crazy. I think it's wonderful what you did, Croquette, for me. That you're here with us today, that you were able to share this because you got through it, or at least partially like got through it, because as we've seen, you still have some repercussions. But it's amazing that you were able to share this.
You don't know how grateful we are that you opened up and shared your story with us, with our viewers.
We know it's hard.
We know it's hard.
We
know it's extremely hard, and we know it took a lot. And you were nervous, and I was nervous,
and we all were.
And she was nervous. But you doing this, you probably helped a lot of people, or will help a lot of people, and
I hope so, really.
Thank you. Just thank you.
Thank you, Krim.
The bottom of my heart.
Thank you again.
Thank you for having me, really.
It was
because it's a really good opportunity. I hope really people. I hope I can help people really for this.
Yeah, we hope so too. We hope this will help us. Krim, again, thank you, guys. thank you so much for seeing this. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you liked our talk of the day. And if you did, if you like us, if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to our channel.
Comment below if there's any topics that you would like to see in the future. We have some spicy ones coming up as well. But as you can see, this ranges from a bit of everything. So instead of talking about just passions or experiences in life, it really digs deep into maybe life-changing things that happen. And you're not alone out there. You're not. If you think that you are, if you think that you've experienced something and it's just you, you're not. So if you need someone to talk to,
we're here.
Talk to me, talk to her. Comment below. I'll give you my phone number. You can call me if you need someone to talk to. No, I'm serious, because sometimes people just need someone to listen. And that's like one of the most things that I've learned is that sometimes people feel alone. They feel like they can't talk to someone. Even if it's your parents, like you feel like, I can't talk to them about this, call me.
And
if you need my phone number, I'll give it to you.
Okay, chill. But no, we do like to talk a lot, as you've seen maybe in the previous ones, but we also are here mostly to listen. So if you have something to share, anything you would like to share, and you think it's something people can learn from it, again, comment below, subscribe, let us know, and we'll see what we can do.
And you guys have yourself an amazing day, weekend, and just live, just laugh, and just love. That's it.
We'll see you in the next episode of Diary Talks. Thank you so much for being with us.
Ciao, guys.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching this, well, check that one out.
And if you like us, subscribe to our channel to see more videos and to keep posting.
Absolutely.